Okay, you're live.
Welcome, everyone. Good to see each and every one of you. Welcome to this candidate forum for the town of Farmville, North Carolina, one of 6 counties, 10 municipalities. Today is Thursday, October 7th, 2025. We are honored to have each and every one of you here. We want to certainly welcome you. Open up with a very brief prayer. Let every heart pray. Father, we're grateful for this day. This is a day that we've never seen before and that we shall never see again if we don't take this day for granted. We honor you and we trust that you will be in the midst of this evening's forum, be in the center of our conversation for thy people. Let every believer say amen. At this time, I would like to introduce our MC for the evening. Barbara D. Gaston is a nationally recognized interventionist and re-entry consultant specializing in supporting individuals transitioning from incarceration with national certification in gang intervention. She provides consultancy on the community violence prevention and curriculum development. A former United States House candidate in 2022 and past chair of the North Carolina Policy and Legislation Committee for the North Carolina American Legion Auxiliary. Barbara is also a 2023 graduate of the North Carolina Rural Center Ready Fellowship. She currently serves on the executive committee of the North Carolina Forward Party and provides data-backed strategy for political candidates. Without further ado, please put your hands together as we welcome Barbara.
Good evening, Farmville. I don't know about y'all, but so many people in one room for the right reason. I'm Barbara Gaston, and I have the honor of being your MC for tonight's forum. Before we get started, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about that. Because right here, this is what makes Farmville Farmville. You see, Farmville isn't just a place, it's a feeling. It's the way folks wave and pass by. The way teachers will stay up late just to make sure that every child's homework and work is caught up. And how our churches and our nonprofits step in when someone's in need. No questions asked. It's where people still know your grandparents' name, and you can't go to Food Lion without turning into running into at least 3 people that know you or know your family. That is the heartbeat of this town. Connection, care, and community. Now let's make a fun for one thing. Show of hands. How many of you all were born and raised right here in the little town park? All right. Now, who's moved here and decided that this is their home? See that? That's what makes it. Doesn't matter if you've been here 50 years or 5 months. When you love this town, you're Farmville family. And that's exactly why we're here tonight. Because we care about what happens in this community that many call home. Now, I'll keep us moving. I'll keep it respectful, and I promise we'll keep it real. We're going to listen, learn, and make sure that every voice in this room is heard, and every concern that comes in will be heard tonight. So thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for your town. And thank you for reminding everyone watching that when Farmville comes together, they don't wait for change, they make it happen. Now let's get started with our candidates and let's get the conversation started. Welcome to this candidate forum for the town of Farmville, one of Pitt County's 10 municipalities. This forum is designed to educate the citizens of Farmville so they can be well informed concerning the candidates who are competing to be their next town representative. Thank you, candidates, for your time to allow us to get to know you better, and God bless your campaign. We encourage everyone here to study the candidate's platform, ask questions, and most importantly, hold them accountable, pray, and vote consciously. This forum will be streamed live on Awesome Radio's network, social media platforms, Facebook, and YouTube. Learn more at Awesome Radio Network. Our moderators are Dr. Crystal Renee Chambers. Raise your hand, please. Ms. Tara Perez, Dr. Camille Nicholson, and Christian Carr, our timekeeper. So our forum rules. This is a friendly forum, not a debate. Please keep that in mind. We will not tolerate character attacks from candidate to candidate, from audience to candidate, from moderator to candidate, from candidate to moderator, etc. No campaign signs are allowed. Candidates may hand out campaign literature, and if there's only one candidate on the platform, then that candidate will have a break to answer questions for 13 minutes. 2 minutes response time. This does not include the 1 minute introduction and the 1 minute. At this time, we will call our candidates to the platform. Candidates for Commissioner, Alma Ha. Jeffrey Bill. Mike Wainwright. Carolyn Ward. The order of the forum questions will be from left to right and then right to left. We encourage questions from the audience. Others will collect questions. Moderator will read audience questions first. If no questions are from the audience, then moderators ask their own prepared questions. There is a 2 minute time response from each candidate, 1 minute time closing remarks, right to left from each candidate. We reserve the right not to present questions that go against the forum. We would like to also acknowledge and thank the town. Is Justin Oak here? And Christopher Gordon. The Farmville Police Department. Candidate to Farmville. The daily reflector. The daily draw. At this time, we'd also like to announce and give the floor or ask them to waive any candidates who are any news media. So once again, we thank you for doing this.
She doesn't know to answer more.
Does anyone have any questions that they would like to put in? We have cards coming. We also have a mayoral candidate. I didn't see any chairs for them yet. But we do have our incumbent, John Moore. And our challenger, Alex Moore. Moderators, are you all ready? Good afternoon. We are ready for you to begin with your 1-minute introduction. We would ask that you would take your mics and put those closer to you so that we can hear you clearly for all questions and answers. We would like to begin with Mr. Jeffrey Fields and we'll proceed along the way. Thank you.
I'm a Farmville native, born and raised here. I moved away, came back in 2014. I'm coming back with a lot of great things have been done. But I noticed that there was some things that were not as great, but some things that needed to change. So I decided to get involved, find out what we could make those changes. I didn't look for someone else to do it. I didn't look the ball for someone else to do it. I looked at the man in the mirror. He was doing things in my community. Getting involved would give me an opportunity to gain some better knowledge on operating and what I can do to help things forward.
Thank you. Ms. Ford, if you would move your mic closer to you so that we can hear you clearly. Thank you for the 1-minute introduction.
Hi, my name is Carol Higgins, and I'm the president of Farmville Municipal Corporation here for the real. I help several people renovate their homes through USDA rural development. Volunteer capital for the Big County Church Department and the hospital, BCB Hospital. I have done both education, also get access to balance, and I just feel that I can help better as an elected official and get more resources as an elected official. That's why I'm running for this call. I love my town, I love my community, I love the people, and my desire is to continue to see Farmville grow.
Thank you. The incumbent, Alma Cobb.
I am native to Farmville, and I graduated from high school here. Therefore, in 1955, I'm going to and I want you to know that I learned that all was prepared me for everything I needed to graduate from the organization. I went on to get my first job with here, and I worked as an accounting agent that led to a state position and an international position in Washington, D.C. So for 36 years, I was a public servant. So youth, families, and communities across the state.
Thank you. Mr. Mike Wainwright, 1 minute, please.
Good evening, my name is Mike. Myself came back to my wife and I had a child. We decided to move I've lived for the rest of my life in some rules. I've seen it grow, I've seen it rise, I've seen it grow again, I've seen prosperity on both sides. I feel my time working in Texas with the community. 30 years I have seen it. I've met a lot of people. I think I can do a good job helping you.
Thank you. Good evening. We are going to start with the question. And Mr. Mike Wainwright is going to say with you to the first question. Some candidates say their town needs change. How do you think you can make these changes?
Again, working with town for years, I've seen the issues that people are talking. A lot of them are very bad. A lot of things that we've done, our people need to help themselves. They need to help. And again, working with town, you know, there are things that we do. A lot of things that we do. I'm not gonna make ballot, I'm not gonna make promises that I can't keep, but I can say, I will do the best job possible. I don't sit down on the split on the community. It's more than that. And I think everyone deserves opportunity to have good education, have clean yards, streets. It's in my heart. I truly believe that was time. Like I said, I grew up in the sixties here. Saw the town first. I believe. Saw community. I worked for a company that took a lot of tax. That will not going to put it. But I think if we all work together, work with individual and community, that one person, what takes one person to change.
This question has a part two. The second part is, what is your plan to change what has already been done that you think is so bad?
You know, every community is in that. I believe that in my heart, this is a good community, good people. We have people that's community stories. Population, people are happy, they're good. I just need to learn to work together. I think as a person who has lived both sides, just to good input. So I've actually seen, I've been in the community, learned what needs to be done. I can't say that I can just play the ball and it happen. I've been up to people in life, but all the people who can do it, and just in my heart, it's a good thing. Parents, well, being I raised a family, we have supported me. It's good and bad.
Thank you. In the past, you would say that Old Town needs change. How do you think you can make these changes?
I think all of this thing. And I think that each of us can take responsibility and accountability for being a part. I have a formula that I use throughout life that pretty much fits everything. It's called ABC. A is for acknowledge. You first have to acknowledge the truth and what you are, because you can't fix what you don't acknowledge. The second one is to build. You have to build the infrastructure to bring about change. And you identify what is needed to bring about the desired change that you're looking for. And as God always says, you got to do the change you want to do. Once you have worked together as a town in unity, then you can bring about whatever change you want to do. But we first have to acknowledge what it is that we really need to do together. Because we can do more together than we can separate.
Thank you. And for this question, what is your plan to change what has already been done that you think is so bad?
Well, I see the cup now, and I have, so that's not the word that I use. And I'm gonna, you still a quote for my name. When we were going through something one time, and he said, you have to face it, fix it, and forget it. And I think that once we acknowledge what it is that we're trying to do, we bring all the resources to bear to make that better than we found it. Then we can move on to the next one. And Farmville has a lot of potential, a lot of good, but it's not perfect. And I think if we focus only on that which is bad, we're not going to see the possibility of what we do. And I would like to see us work together for the good of farmers, making Farmville the best place to live, play, and work.
Thank you, Thomas Thomas. Ms. Carolyn Ward, the same question. Would you like me to repeat it? Some candidates say their town needs change. How do you think we can make those changes?
Now, working together with the board and come up with even, a town can only be as strong as its community. And I happen to live in the world. We don't have sidewalks for the children to walk on, to go to get on the bus. It's not safe for them to walk in the street. We need public transportation. We have people that live in the housing authority that are old, they're crippled, they're handicapped, and they don't have a way to get uptown to get their groceries. They don't have a way to get uptown to get to the doctor's office or the job. So we need some form of public transportation in Florida. Yes, some people do have cars, but you have a lot of people that don't. And if it's hot, it's cold, and they're walking in the rain, we need public transportation in the town of Florida. We have companies come, but the board denies them access. So that's another thing that I'm concerned about. Part of the community is used for dumping ground. And like I said, I have to live on the side that is used for a dumping ground. And I think that the town can do more when it comes to helping us keep our community clean. And it's not always the residents that's dumping. It's people coming from other areas. So I would love to see the whole town kept clean, the whole town is sidewalks, we need public transportation, and I would like to see that done in my community as well as the
Thank you, Ms. Warden, for the second part of that. What is your plan to change what has already been done that you think is so bad?
again, by working with the other board members, because you know, the majority, one person can't do it. The majority do it. By working together with the board to come up with solutions, come up with plans, and whatever we can do just to make our town safer and better for every city.
Thank you, Ms. Warren. All right, Mr. Jeffrey Field, your question. Some candidates say their town needs change. How do you think you can make these changes?
I feel that I can make those changes. First of all, together with the solution and identify what needs to be. There's a lot of good and hope. I keep hearing the word, and I won't see things that are being said. What I see things are things that need to be good. And I'm looking for opportunities for people to come together, work and the citizens come together and promote and grow. What can we do to work together to grow this town, to keep this town moving forward, to keep this town moving in the right direction? In my experience, I've seen that when you give people the opportunity to have input on the front end, they'll be more accepting of what's going to happen on the back end. So I believe we can get them involved in the decision making and identifying what problems are, and what can change, then I think that we can get them involved with.
Thank you. And for part two, what is your plan to change what has already been done that you think is so?
I don't see it as an opportunity. And what I want to do is to get out myself. And I want to lead by example. Because I'm a servant by nature, and I intend to get out and serve this community, serve these citizens, and I expect through my service to encourage them to come along and serve. If you love this town and you want to see it change, then you want to be part of the change that you want to see. And I challenge anyone who wants to change this town, change something about this town. I'm willing to roll up my sleeves and work with everyone to do the change that we want to see for our town.
Thank you, Mr. Field. This question is where the incumbent, what do you think your leadership has done to help the successful advancement of your town?
Well, first of all, I want to express to everyone out there. After working 36 years, I was searching where I wanted to stay for my retirement. And I looked around, and I didn't have to come to Farmville, but I came to Farmville because Farmville found me back. And what I mean by that is I kept coming back to visit, and I saw that I could make a difference. And the first thing that I made a difference with was I was asked to reconstitute the HD Alumni Association. And I did that. And that was in 2013 before I became a commissioner. And that group is functioning today and is making a difference in Farmville. I was also asked to work with the down historic HD. And he just completed their strategic plan. And they are moving forward. And with their new historic. I also brought in housing clinic to people. And that clinic made it possible for a lot of people to get their housing. I also, as a commissioner, work with the grant to renovate housing for residents in Farmville in round one, and now we're going to start around two. I was also very successful in working with individual properties in Farmville to bring substandard housing up into. Okay. Oh.
He needs you.
This question is from Ms. Carolyn Ward from the finance. How do you plan to finance the transit system and other?
Well,
They said, can it be closed caption?
that is
Did not hear it.
but also we have to just reach out to other people, just to see how they are working in their community, and you can piggyback.
Stay with it.
Thank you.
So this question is for Mr. Fields.
Yes.
Several questions were posed regarding fiscal management and ethics. How would you support sound fiscal management and build confidence in local officials?
I think one of the best ways to do that is accountability, holding each other accountable, holding the board accountable, and looking at the budget closely following that budget and going through it with a fine tooth comb to make sure that each budget line, every item in there is accounted for. And when there's something that is, if there's something that's questionable, what can we do to fix it immediately and not allow that to linger? When you allow it to linger, it brings attention, or it brings the impression that you're trying to hide something. And when you're serving people, you want to be as transparent as you can be. And through that transparency, then you want to be able to get things out front so that people can see that what you're doing is the right thing to do. What you're doing is the honest thing to do. And you build trust based on that. When they see that you're holding yourself accountable, holding each other accountable, that is a great opportunity to build trust among each other and trust among the people that you're serving.
Thank you. I'd like to pose the same question to Mr. Wainwright. Several questions were posed regarding fiscal management and ethics. How would you support sound fiscal management and build confidence in local officials?
I also feel you need transparency.
Yeah.
You need accountability. If you're going to do something, it needs to be brought forth to everyone. I know the budgets are tough. They're tough everywhere. It's a tough time to have a budget, even a home budget nowadays, but you have to spend accordingly. You have to pick your best projects, what you feel that can be best for the community at the time. I know there's going to be people, no matter what you do, someone's not going to be happy. But I feel if you put your best effort forward, you communicate with the community, communicate with the commissioners themselves, have a good open conversation. I know in this day and time, there's Facebook. Everybody has an opinion. Sometimes it's not the opinion people want. There's stuff that comes in from places that try to stir things up. There's not even in the community, but that little nitpick they want to get in. That's something we need to get away from. Again, we need transparency in the community. We need to talk one-on-one. I do a lot of walking in this town for my health. I had to, and I stop and I talk and I ask people what they want and what we can do. And I sincerely, every time I talk to somebody, I talk to them one-on-one, just like they're my best friend. I mean, I talk to the people on the street who have bad issues. I talk to upper echelon. I talk to just anybody. I don't put myself in a box. I try to listen to everyone and get just comments from everybody and use that as a platform.
Thank you for that. Ms. Hobbs, what do you consider the biggest challenge for this position going forward right now, and what strengths do you bring to bear on it?
Can you repeat the question?
What do you consider the biggest challenge of this position, and what strength do you bring to bear on it?
Well, I'm going to answer that by saying an indication that you can do a job is when you're doing the job. And I have had the privilege of being in this position for 8 years. So I had an opportunity to work with the town manager, staff, department heads, and the commissioners. And I think we have worked together in giving strategic directions to make sure that we are implementing the policies and procedures to achieve the visions and goals of this town. I also think that there's good oversight. We have a great town with great department heads. They work hard to really make this town one of the best places to live. And I think that while we're not perfect, I think it is you can be pleased to know it is a group of people that like each other and they work together for the better.
Thank you.
This question is for Mr. Mike Wainwright. Why are you running for town commissioner?
Like I said, I've been a citizen of this town since I was born. I was born here. I was born in Dr. Mewman's office by the Baptist Church. That was a long, long time ago. I've always had a big community spirit. I've been a behind the scenes person. This is very, very much out of my wheelhouse. I do things behind the scenes, not for credit. I do things because I feel it's great for the community. It makes me feel good. The community has done a lot for me. I try to give back as much as I can. To me, Farmville is my home. I've loved it. Again, I've seen it go through the highs and the lows. I worked for Cause and Apron for 30 years. I started sweeping the floors out there. When it shut down, I was one of the lead supervisors for the whole plant. When I left there, I went back to school. I went through some tragedy. The town got behind me. I actually was hired by the town. I went and applied for a job cutting grass, and they told me I was too overqualified. But for me, it was something I could do to give back to the town because they have helped me. And I have spent 13 years for that. As Ms. Hobbs says, we have a very good group of people that work for the town. I have worked with each and every one of them individually. We have been through hurricanes. We have worked numerous hours. We've worked and got very little feedback from anybody other than bad. It's not the job you're doing at the time. It's what can you do for me next? And it's disheartening. But I still love this town, and I feel like I can be a good steward to it. And to me, there's great opportunity for this town, and I would like to be a part of it because I believe in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Wainwright.
Thank you.
We're going to take a minute so that I can get the candidates to love their mics as well as we do. We would like for them to hold on to them so that everyone that has come out this evening can hear them clearly and that we're getting the questions and answers to them appropriately, okay? Thank you. This question here, it goes to Mr. Jeffrey Fields. Mr. Fields, what do you consider to be your vision for Farmville, and how long have you been a part of the Farmville community?
My vision for Farmville is to bring the citizens and the officials together so that the officials can hear the concerns of the citizens, know what they need and what they want, but also have those two entities to work together to find solutions for many of the problems that we face in our town. I would like to say that this administration has done some wonderful things for this town. And I did hear someone say earlier that this town, nor this administration, is perfect by no means. There are some things that need to be done better. And my vision is to get in and be a part of making this town better. Everything that I've done since I've come back to this town is to promote growth for this town, awareness for the citizens, and getting them involved in what's going on. That is very important to me, to have people involved. And I think that if you get them involved, they'll care about the town more. They will buy into what you're doing to improve the town. So that is the biggest thing that I like to see. My vision is to get people involved in what we're doing here to promote growth. I grew up here. I went away to school at East Carolina, graduated there. I left and I came back in 2014. And when I came back to this town, I hit the ground running because I had someone challenge me and I took that challenge head on. And since then, I've been serving this town and this community in any capacity that I can. And I'm proud to do it. It is an honor to serve this town and its citizens.
Thank you.
Ms. Ward, why should you be considered by the voters for a seat as town commissioner?
Because I love the town. I love the people. I've seen Farmville grow since being here. And I would love to see us be able to draw more businesses here and to make this a place for families to want to come and to live. I feel that I can make good, common sense decisions. And as I said before, you got to work with the board. You have 5 people on the board. So you can't make a decision by yourself. It have to be unity. And I feel that I can work together with the other commissioners to promote this town in a way that other people will want to call Farmville home.
So one of the questions was, how would you handle criticism? And I think in light of some of the remarks that have been made by each of you, I'd like to rephrase. How would each of you handle promoting the town in a way that brings voter awareness and community unity for Farmville? And I'll start with Ms. Ward, and then
Okay. How would we bring community unity?
community unity.
Okay. By involving the citizens of Farmville, by listening. I wish we could have a listening session, not just when we come together as the board once a month to discuss what the town needs and what the town has done, but just to have a listening ear to all the citizens of Farmville. You can't resolve all of them, but at least let them know that you care by listening.
Ms. Hobbs, I'd like to pose the same question to you.
Okay, and could you repeat the question?
The question that we were given was, how would you handle criticism? And I'd like to rephrase in light of comments that have been made. How would you promote community unity?
How would I promote unity?
Community unity.
I like that terminology, community unity. I see unity as coming together as one. And I see the community as being a resource for everyone. And if you look at it at the concept of unity and community, it's recognizing that everyone should have equal access to all the equal opportunities in the community. And I think that would be a great vision for Farmville, a good transformation for Farmville. Farmville is changing. Farmville is transitioning. But a true transformation will be when everyone sees Farmville as they walk into the door and see Farmville as the best place to live. But when they turn around, they don't see the door that they came in. And that's when you don't see all the negative, but you're focused on the positive. Now, I want you to think about what I just said, because transformation is when you walk through a door and you turn around and that door you just walked through is no longer there. Farmville has a lot of potential. Everyone would not have the same experiences, but everyone should have access to equal opportunity. And I would like to see us as a community to come together in unity by working together and making Farmville the best place wherever you are in Farmville.
Thank you, Mr. Wainwright. Right, how would you promote community unity?
I think Farmville has come a long way over the years. I've seen a lot of change. There's a lot of change for the better. And there's always, when there's good, there's bad. You can't help but making some people happy and some people bad. It's human nature. Again, I'm just as comfortable walking on one part of town as I am in the other. I work both parts of town. I don't call it both parts of town. That's a community. Farmville is my community. I love people everywhere. I stop and I talk to people. There's there's a lot of commonality between everyone. We all have our thoughts. We all want best for our families. We all want the best for our children. We want education. We have a great opportunity here in Farmville because all of our schools are on one campus. There's not, I don't know anywhere else in this area that happens. I know our schools are not the best, but I know that the school board is actually working to make it better for everyone. Again, people need to talk. I stop and I talk to people all over. I don't just generalize this person or that person. I speak to the person I'm speaking to as a friend. And a lot of that goes a long way. And I think that is a good way to start a conversation in Farmville to make things for the better.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. How would you promote community unity?
Well, you can't spell the word community without unity. And those two things go hand in hand. I think that there needs to be a level playing field where all citizens feel they have a voice, where all citizens feel they're not overlooked, where all citizens feel they are represented, and most of all, that they have equal access to the same resources. By doing that, I think that you can get people to unite and come together for the greater good of this town and this community. And that's what I would like to see. And I think that would be a huge, huge step in making that happen.
Thank you.
So this question will start with Mr. Fields again.
Okay.
What inspired you to run for public office in Farmville, and what experiences have you prepared you for this role?
Well, I've asked myself that question many times throughout this campaign. And I've been saying that I didn't choose this to run for this seat. It actually chose me because I'm a servant by nature. And this is a great opportunity for me to serve this town, serve this community, and serve the citizens. So in order to get involved, I realized I could do more by holding a seat on the board, listening to people, taking their concerns, sharing those concerns, working with the board, the town officials, working with the citizens to make sure that we get those things taken care of, make sure those voices are heard, make sure that representation is there, make sure they have a seat at the table, make sure they do not feel they are overlooked. For myself, I've thrown myself into this wholeheartedly. I'm very passionate about community. I'm very passionate about serving people, and I'm doing this not for myself, because throughout my career, I've been in management where I was a manager or a supervisor and overseeing people. Through that experience, I knew that I had to listen to people. And that's what I intend to do as a commissioner, is to listen to the people, take their pulse, find out what they want, and let's see what we can do to get those things taken care of.
Thank you. Ms. Carolyn Ward, the next question is for you. What do you see as the top 3 priorities for Farmville over the next 4 years? And how do you plan to address them?
The top 3 things. Well, we really have to really complete that fire department. They're here for our safety. We got to make sure that they are taken care of because they are volunteers. They're not paid to help us. It's in their heart. So that's my first thing. The next thing is, and like I said, I live in an area where it's flooded. Every time it rains, it's flooded. The children have to walk through that to get to the bus. My thing is to see that we get some of our tax dollars put into our community so that we can be as safe. The third thing is to be included in a lot of decisions that goes on in the town of Farmville. And by that, basically, we need to really attend the meetings. And that's the only way you're going to be included, because you got to be informed first. You got to know what's going on. And my thing is to try to get more citizens, especially on the south side, to attend the meetings so that we'll be informed as to what's available to us, first of all, and how our tax dollars are being spent.
Thank you. Incumbent Alma Cobb Hobbs. What is your approach to listening to and representing all voices in the community, including those who may not traditionally be involved in town politics?
I learned a technique in the 1970s when I first started working my professional job of how to work with people. And we learned a concept called felt need. Is that when you're working with people, especially people at different levels, you have to start with where they are. And starting with where they are, you can take them to where they need to go. And it's recognizing that everyone starts at a different point. And I hope I have time to tell this story. My first assignment on my first professional job was to go to a neighborhood and help some low-income families on how to make window treatments. I had this elaborate presentation that I was going to make, and I was so proud of it. And I had practiced it. But when I got there, the ladies did not even have windows, panes in their windows. They had covered them up with cardboard. And here I was with this nice little presentation, all kinds of window treatments. And I had to make a switch right in the moment. And so they said, "What are you going to talk about?" I said, "We're going to talk about today how to repair windows." I did not know how to repair windows, but I knew I couldn't pull out that little nice window treatment presentation because it would have been insulting. But I did talk about how they
Thank
could
you. Thank
You won't
you.
let me do it.
Yes.
I got to learn to talk fast.
Mr. Mike Wainwright, final question. How do you plan to support small businesses and promote economic growth while maintaining Farmville's small town character?
Well, Farmville's always had a very good small town character. I remember back when East Carolina Hospital was first being built. People wanted Farmville to be the hub of East Carolina. They wanted to be a small town, and they kept it a small town. We have a chance now to change that. And I believe the more we do to bring people in, gives more opportunity for small business. New people bring new thoughts, new changes. And I think one way to do that is just to be the best town we can and grow opportunities for everyone. I believe that everybody needs a chance to live the best life they can, the best way they can. And if in any way that can be helped, I know the town board can't do a lot of stuff all the time. There's just not money there for it, but you have a budget. You have to budget that the best you can to help everyone in any way you can. Some things have priorities. There's some things that go lacking. I see that on both sides of town, and I know there's a discrepancy. I worked that for 13 years. I see it. I know it in my heart. And hopefully, working together, we can get that changed.
Thank you. Candidates, now we will roll into your final 1-minute summations. We will begin now with Mr. Mike Wainwright. You have 1 minute in closing.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for having us here tonight. It's heavy on my heart. I love this town. I'd love to see change, but change can't be made overnight. But I think with the right people in place, change can be made. I feel I'm a good choice for that. I have the best interests of Farmville in my heart. I didn't start out in life wanting to be a politician, and I'm not a politician. I'm a human being that lives in the town of Farmville, and I love everyone. That's kind of hokey, it sounds like, but it's the truth. I had an event in my life that changed me forever, and it has put a whole new aspect on my life. And I try to use my knowledge and my respect of people to help others, and that is that's just the way I am.
Thank you. Now we shall hear from the incumbent, Ms. Alma Cobb Hobbs. 1 minute.
1 minute. First, I want to say that I firmly believe to whom much is given, much is required. And with that comes responsibility and accountability. I am committed to serve. I'm committed to help achieve the vision that we want to see in this town. I feel that I have a lot to bring to Farmville, and I want to share those resources and make Farmville a better place to live. And I hope that you will bring me back and allow me to continue serving the citizens of Farmville. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Carolyn Ward, you have 1 minute.
Again, I'm Carolyn Ward. Most of you know me. I would love to have your vote on November 4th because I feel that I have a lot to share and a lot to give for the town of Farmville. I love this town. I love the people. I have worked on so many committees in the town of Farmville, so somebody else must have a little bit of confidence in me as well. I ask that you just vote for me on November 4th and give me the chance to serve you as commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jeffrey Fields, 1 minute.
Yes, I would love to have your vote on November 4th because you will be casting a vote for honesty and integrity. I'm an honest person, I'm trustworthy, and I'm not self-serving. When you vote for that honesty and integrity, I will serve you in a way that I will not allow that integrity to be compromised. I will serve to the best of my ability with transparency, with accountability, and I will work hard with you and for you to make sure that this town is moving forward and that you have a part in this town's growth. I have the best interests of this town and the citizens, and I will do my very best to make sure that decisions are made in that best interest, because at the end of the day, God is holding me accountable for serving you.
Thank you.
Thank
Excuse
you.
me, can I say one thing has nothing to do with this tonight? Just
I'm sorry.
1 second.
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's give everybody a round of applause. Think of this as an interview, y'all. They showed up for the interview. Now it's time for you all to show up. Early voting begins October 16th. You all have the option to vote for 2. We have Alma Cobb Hobb. That's a tongue twister.
We also have Mr. Wainwright, Mike Wainwright, Carolyn Ward, and Jeffrey Fields. Those are y'all's choices for commissioners. And once again, you vote for 2, and early voting begins October 16th. We also want to make note that the town of Fountain candidates declined to participate tonight. And if we could really quickly while we're transitioning, if I could have everyone turn to the very back of your booklet. Once again, we'd like to thank you for attending this forum, and we pray that your questions and issues have been addressed by these candidates for commissioner. We also pray that you learned a little bit more about the candidates and what their proposed plans are, and if elected, that you have enough information to vote soberly. If you, once again, look at the very back of your booklet, there is a QR code for you to scan. We're asking for everyone to complete this QR code. It's an evaluation of this forum so that we know how to, of course, do better. And what you all appreciated. We want to thank you for it. But once again, we're asking you all to fill out the evaluation form.
I do think we need to acknowledge birthdays always. So I want to give one birthday shout out to Miss Beverly. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
They wished you a happy birthday.
She missed it.
She missed it.
And at this time, we're going to ask you all to take a seat. And while they're transitioning out, we're going to ask our candidates for mayor. We have our incumbent, John Moore, and our challenger, Alex Joyner.
It's the mayoral, yeah. So guys, we're probably gonna do all of these. Okay, the mayoral. Right.
Okay, that's fine.
Right.
I got it. I can do that.
Yes, you do. I am very proud of you. So we can put those aside. She's done. Carolyn
Oh,
Ward.
okay.
This
Okay, you
one,
said all candidates, that's
Yeah.
fine, okay.
well. Got more? Jesus.
So I have
Sorry,
two,
here for a while.
wait, there's only
I'm gonna
two,
do
right?
one of, yes, only 2 of them. So I'm gonna read one question apiece and keep it moving, and so we can get through all of these questions. I think we can. Okay, so this question really is to him, John Moore, then that guy, yeah, we'll get those done first. I think those should go first. I'm gonna do these first, okay?
Check.
These.
Admin,
Yes. This one here that we have together. And then the third page, it should be this one here for you. We did.
professionals.
Yeah. The dancers after you.
Oh, I will.
Okay, I did that one. I don't have that. Let's see, it's on the back of another page. If not, I can just read it. I can take care of that one.
All righty then.
Okay. You got it? Okay. You pull that apart, yeah. Okay, so we want that mic close to you. Mr. Moore, I know you can do it. Channel 9. He's done it for many years.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was a lot better. Yes. Oh God, we were professional. Yes, come on, we do it. We got this down pat.
Oh, yeah, we fall in line.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so can we go through like we did? the
Sure.
first one?
Yeah.
Where do you want us to start?
One,
This,
you do this one,
Puppet Mayor.
you do that one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she gonna do the first page. Tara. I'll do this again.
Okay.
The third one though looks like it's the third one. Looks like it's back to the Carolina. Still with that. So I think this is. I think I'll skip this one. Yeah, that would be you. Yeah. Okay. So she's gonna do. Which one is it? 2019. It says something. But she thinks this is kind of going hand in hand with the last one. So she's gonna do this one.
Okay.
What do you think about the last one? How we doing? We're feeling good, but how are you? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. How did I?
I think we're doing okay. How do you feel? Okay. But I'm loud, so I'm good.
Joe.
Okay. I'm always good. I'm loud. That's it. It's not my nature. She's so sweet. That's what that is.
No, I'm a native New Yorker. That's
Oh, yeah, let me help you with that.
All right.
Yeah.
No, so there's actually two more. So after
That,
this one,
then talk. Yeah, we'll come back. Okay, she said you can do that one too. Subdivision, we'll just rotate back.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this forum.
And then-
We are asking you to please take your seats as we are about to begin the mayoral candidate forum. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, and thanks again for attending the Farmville Forum. Our candidates for mayor have taken their seat. Once again, let's introduce our incumbent, John Moore.
Thank you very much.
And our challenger, Alex Joyner.
Thank you so much for being here.
So once again, the rules to this forum is this is a friendly forum, not a debate. We will not tolerate character attacks from candidate to candidate, from audience to candidate, from moderator to candidate, from candidate to moderator, etc. No campaign signs or banners allowed in this room, but are available outside. There's also a voter registration table outside. If you are not registered to vote, please do so. And once again, early registration starts October 16th. If there's only one candidate, which is not, that candidate will have 13 minutes. 2 minutes response time each, and this does not include the 1 minute introduction or the 1 minute closing. Moderators, are you all ready?
We're ready. Good afternoon. This part of the debate will go to the mayors and the incumbent along with the challenger. So this evening, we will start with the introductories and we will give you 1 minute apiece. Alex Joyner, you shall begin with 1 minute to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, and thank you for everyone for being here. My name is Alex Joyner, and I'm very proud to be running for the mayor of Farmville here. So when I moved here in July 2022, I never thought that I would be running for mayor. I was born and raised in the small town of Lucama, North Carolina, a short 25 minute drive from here. And while I moved away for a while, when I came back here, I thought that this was going to be a temporary place for me to save some money, and we wanted to move closer to the Raleigh area. But we fell in love with the neighborhood here. We fell in love with our neighbors, and we created not just friends, but family. And that is when we decided that Farmville would be our home, and this was the place that I wanted to grow my family and grow my children. So as I went out and started talking to people, there were a couple of things that made me want to run, and that is the voice of the people and the mismanagement of the government that we had currently had.
Thank you. The incumbent, Mr. John Moore.
Thank you very much for doing this. In 2006, we made an agreement. If you would be my eyes and ears, I'd be your voice. And that's exactly what we've done since 2006. Have I made some of you mad with some comments? Absolutely. Have I made you mad with some of the decisions that I made as a councilman? Yes, I have. But there's one thing about it. Farmville has changed and we are growing. And I'll ask you the same thing again tonight that I asked you in 2006. If you'll be my eyes and ears, I will be your voice. I'm approachable, I'm accessible, and I am available. And that is one thing that you cannot take away from me. My telephone number is published. I'm very easy to find. I trust God to lead my steps, and I trust God to lead Farmville in the journey that we're about to go on. And if you've been in Farmville more than 15 minutes, you realize that this is a safe, clean, and it is also a family town. My intentions is to keep moving the way that we've been moving, and I hope that you folks will send me back one more time to represent you as the mayor of Farmville.
Thank you.
Good evening. So the next few questions will be guided and directed to each of you in respect to your position right now as incumbent and running for the office of mayor. So the first question, the town of Farmville previously maintained an unassigned fund balance, commonly known as a rainy day fund, for emergencies and unforeseen expenses. This reserve has declined significantly from 46.26% in fiscal year 2019 to 2020 to 23.75% in 2020 through 2021 and just 12% in 2021 and 2022. It no longer appears in the budget under the same designation. So, to the incumbent Mayor Moore, which current budget line item reflects this reserve? And I'll wait for the second part.
Which line item represents the reserve? Young lady, you'd have to have a PhD in economics to answer that question for the town of Farmville. But I can tell you this, Mr. J. Parrish, our accountant, has given us what we call a clean audit every year. Every year we've had a clean audit. Our fund balance has gone from 8% to well over 20% in the past few years. To designate a rainy day fund, I cannot answer that question because what I deal with is a balanced budget and line items that meet the needs of each department and the town of Farmville to make for sure that we stay within what the league tells us we need to have to keep us straight, the local government commission, that we are within balance of where we need to be. And that has to be in, just so you know, by the first day of July.
I will ask that you answer the next one to the best of your ability. What is the present unassigned fund balance percentage?
Well over 24%.
Okay. And what factors contributed to its decline during your administration?
Well, it's like anything else. You have bills you got to pay. And we've had opportunities to pay off some bills. We've also been stuck with things like a sludge dryer. We've also invested millions of dollars in infrastructure. And then when the state government comes down and tells us that they want like a 4% increase in what we already had, we were at a percentage that we were supposed to be, and then they changed that. And when they changed it, we were 1.5 from being at the 24, 25%, whatever it is.
Thank you. And for Alex Joyner, what is your plan to restore this critical reserve and ensure Farmville is financially prepared for future emergencies?
So I think first and foremost, we have to stop the bleeding. We have to put down this shovel and stop digging this hole of debt. We have to learn how to construct a ladder and get out of this hole of debt. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done to make that happen. First and foremost, we have to understand why have these choices been made, that all of these capital expenditures have happened at a very similar time. 2019, we voted to exchange the property for the fire station. A month later, we voted for a $5 million approval for the library. That does not seem like very smart financial decisions for our town that has to take out loan after loan to fill this. So I think that one, we need to be able to, again, put down that shovel and then learn how are we going to get out of this, and then also start to build that plan. What does that 15, 20-year plan look like when how we have our capital expenditures and other needs of the town? The fire department right now, we already know this is not a resource that is capable of managing what we need. So what about our fire department? What about our roads? What about our sidewalks and our sewer and other things like that that need attention? What is the plan from the town of Farmville right now for that long-term strategic plan, and how do we find it? Where is it published there? So if it is not there, that is my goal, is that we start to build that plan so that we know where our finances are going over the next 15, 20 years.
Thank you, Mr. Joyner.
This question will start with you, Mr. Joyner. The Carolina Poultry Power Facility opened in Farmville in September 2021, burning over 250 tons of turkey waste daily to generate energy. The project was expedited by the town manager at the time, bypassing the standard approval process typically required for industrial developments. What safeguards would you implement to ensure all future businesses adhere to Farmville's established approved procedures?
I think the first and foremost situation is, what authority does the town manager have to fast track these sorts of business deals that are happening? And are we doing our research to be able to understand what is that impact here on our town? So based off of 250 tons of burnt, is this
Turkey waste.
turkey waste? So turkey manure we're talking about. That is, I think, is around 91,250 tons of burnt turkey waste every single year. So from North Carolina State University, they have put out a publicity on this. That means that there are 1,200 tons of air pollutant that is happening from that burning every single year here. So that's arsenic, that is mercury, that is lead, that's carbon monoxide, and other pollutants that are happening and troubling our town. So it affects the wastewater, it affects the soil that is out there, and it affects our health. So there is long-term effects of having this sort of establishment here. And so my ask would be, what is the town doing? Because this is not a regulated facility that we have here by the federal government. This is a state and local facility or it's regulated by state and local. So I know that as of December 2024, the operational information was published about this, but there is no information from the EPA about what is being produced from this that is air pollutant here, and where can the town find this information online so that we can make sure that we are safe as a community?
Thank you. To the incumbent mayor, what authority allowed the town manager to fast track this facility, and why was the usual approval process not followed?
I'm not sure that the town manager fast-tracked that, because I know we had a lot of public hearings on it. We had the research in. We had the people that were involved in it. There was a fine-tuning process. I mean, there was a smell, and we had to deal with that, and the operators over that, they finally worked that out. They got through that. We knew that going in, that was going to be a situation. But the fact is that the plant itself meets the standards.
Thank you.
Mayor Moore, in 2019, the Farmville Board of Commissioners approved a property exchange, the existing fire station on Main Street, for land at the corner of May Boulevard and West Horn Avenue, designated for the new station. The town manager appraised the fire station at $325,000 and the land at $250,000, leaving a $75,000 difference owed to the town. Instead of collecting that payment, the town accepted a 2-year rent-free period as compensation, effectively waiving the $75,000. This deal has since been criticized as poorly managed, with estimates suggesting a taxpayer loss between $108,000 and $268,000. The 2023 Farmville audit by the state of North Carolina raised concerns about the transactions and its documentation. Mayor Moore, given the audit findings and public concern, how will you restore trust and prevent future property deals that risk taxpayer funds?
State of North Carolina, in this audit report, which I have here, it says in the future that we should seek additional professional opinions needed whenever similar land transfers are taking place. $75,000 was the cash that we got on that deal. And at the time, the real estate people that were involved in that, and we have some of the finest real estate people around, when they looked at this, it was a good deal. It's still a good deal. I don't think there was any oversight there. The land that was there was picked by the state of North Carolina. The footprint was put there, and all the procedures were followed by that. And Mr. Phil Lewis has been incredible to work with during this time for this fire station. Misappropriation, is that the word I heard? What was the word you said?
It was said poorly managed.
Poorly managed.
Yeah.
Okay. Not according to the town property entered into an exchange agreement related to the fire station. And in the future, the town should seek additional professional opinions as needed whenever similar land transfers are contemplated. And we had real estate agents, we had developers, and that's all we got on the audit, is that in the future, ask some more folks. But they didn't tell us how many to ask, and they did not suggest who to ask. So my question, well, not my question, but my point is, it was a good deal. If you wanted a new fire station, which is going to have to be mandated that we have a new fire station, one we had was exploding. So there's the answer on the audit for that.
Thank you. Mr. Joyner, what steps will you take to rebuild public confidence in government decision-making, particularly regarding major financial and property transactions?
So first I want to touch on the business deal that happened there. And money aside, and whatever amount that was lost by taxpayer money there, I think the more important thing that is here to be understood that the current mayor voted on himself is to exchange the current fire station that we had for a piece of land. And by doing that, we no longer own that fire station on Main Street. So what that puts me, you, and everyone else here at risk of is that the moment that the owner of that fire station says, you know what, you got to get out, we have no fire station.
We would also like to remind everyone that we will not tolerate character attacks.
I would ask that I have a chance to, since he broke the rules, that I get an opportunity to respond to that.
No, we would like to cut it off as the MC has asked us.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So once again, we do have to go over these rules because this is not a debate. This is information for the residents of Farmville. So we're going to ask you all to
Can you
stay
clarify what rule I broke and be very specific about that, please?
When you mentioned directly the mayor and I forgot exactly what you said.
I said the mayor voted for it.
I think the
Yeah,
fact
that
that
the
he
mayor
voted
voted
for it,
for
is
it.
that not a fact? Of being a commissioner that I think people need to understand?
Well, once again, this is information. This is not a debate. So, I mean, that's what we have to stand on. This is information for the community who is asking you all questions. We're going to ask you all once again, this is not a debate. You know, just answer the question, but don't point fingers. Don't, you know, we're just asking everyone to stay on point. Once
Thank you.
again, this is not a debate. This is a community forum, and I, you know, I'll have to say, if there is an issue, then you know, there's the door as well. So, thank you, thank you.
I'm sorry, Miss Barbara Gaskin, where do you live?
I
think it is because this is the town of Farmville, and you're hearing the people of from the town of Farmville speak, and I think that you need to represent that. And you're not from here, and that's okay if you want to moderate it. But please, if we are saying things that are not facts, please call us out.
Well, once again, to answer your question, I am from Greenville. My parents stay here in Farmville. That actually has nothing to do with anything. Once again, for my third time, this is a candidate forum. This is not a debate. There are certain ways, if you want to set up a debate, then I suggest, you find a way to do so. But once again, we're going to ask you and everyone else to stay on point, answer the questions that are reflected or asked of you. And once again, we're no character attacks. That's what I ask. And,
Where we disagree is that I don't think that calling out
I'm
that
not-
a vote is a character attack.
I'm not disagreeing or anything with you. And this is not a you and I conversation. This is a forum. So
If I may, I would like to repose the question. The question as stated is, what steps will you take to rebuild public confidence in government decision-making, particularly regarding major financial and property transactions?
Absolutely. So I think first and foremost, we need transparency into what is happening. The financial decisions that are the large business decisions that are happening here. We need a oversight committee that is based off of citizens just like you. You need a seat at the table so that you can see what is happening here, so that you can make sure that every decision that we are making is based off of the same facts that you have seen and that we have seen. And if there's an opportunity for questions and interaction here, we can gather that from you and be able to have a collaborative sort of approach here. I don't think that there is anything wrong with allowing most of the work of what we do here as elected officials be seen from behind the curtain. We should be confident in what we are doing. There is nothing we are doing that we should be able to hide from. So this is where I think, one, transparency, and then honestly, some honesty and some integrity coming into here. And I think that by having this group sort of approach, and again, I am not a subject matter expert here. I am not a political person. I just know that I want to fight for Farmville. And that means involving every single person that is here and lifting every single voice that is here. So together, we will be able to decide and make sure that people are confident in the decisions that our government is making and that they want to be involved because they know you have a seat at this table. I'm done.
Thank you. So the premise for this question is, the subdivision participation rate established in 1998 is a financial incentive paid by the town of Farmville to developers to encourage residential growth by offsetting infrastructure costs. Historically, this has included a percentage of development costs on a per lot payment upon issuance of a certificate of occupancy. Construction in the Dalton Cove subdivision began in 2022, with homes listed and sold by early 2023. In June 2023, the Board of Commissioners voted to increase the participation rate for Dalton Cove from $1,000 to $5,000 per lot. Mr. Joyner, do you believe the subdivision participation rate remains a necessary tool for Farmville? What strategies would you implement to responsibly incentivize future development?
So the subdivision participation rate was created in 1998 because the town of Farmville needed to bring more developers in here to be able to create more houses, more homes, more subdivisions. It is long overdue and outdated here. We are in the process of spending a heck of a lot of money for the development that will be the Byron farm development that will be on the other side of Food Line over there. So we're going to be able to pay 35% of that development when these developers were going to pay here anyway. So while in the phase one of that development, we are going to be spending at least $2.7 million as that 35% development there. We don't even know if that's the final cost because we don't have visibility into this. So also this is a two-phased approach with 115 houses that will be put there. So the second phase of houses aren't even scheduled to start construction until 2029. So between 2022, and this is approved by the commissioners, until now in 2025, the cost of the development of this house has already risen 35%. That is a heck of a lot of money that we are putting in here to bring developers that were already coming here. And when we look at the Dalton's Cove development, that was started construction in the late 2022. We had house selling in 2023 and on the market. And yet in June of 2023, we decided to raise that rate from $1,000 a lot to $5,000 a lot. Why did we do that? We already had construction. We already had development. Why would we spend 5 times the amount of taxpayer money to get developers there that were already on our doorstep?
Thank you. To the incumbent, Mayor Moore.
You don't have to read it again. Thank you.
Well, it's a slightly different one. It's
Oh,
slightly
okay.
phrased. Given that construction was already underway, what justified increasing the rate in 5-fold, spending significantly more taxpayer money when the incentive was no longer needed to attract development?
We're talking about Dalton's Cove, then we'll speak about Bynum Farms real quick. Dalton's Cove, they changed their R rating, and so they could put more houses in there. They also, once we got in there, we realized that the connector had to go down another street, and the infrastructure had to be changed there, and so the number of houses. And that brought on the change for Dalton's Cove. Now let's talk about Bynum Farms. Fact check, got it right here. Cost of doing business, folks. One of the best things that happened in a long time was Dalton's Cove. And one of the greater things has been Bynum, and the next thing will be even better. Let's talk about Bynum Farms right quick. The cost of doing business, 160 houses, 215 houses, whatever the magic number may be. I'll use the number 160. At 160 houses being built in an area that will not change the look of our town of Farmville, still be in our city limits, the amount of tax dollars that will raise in property tax, not only for Farmville, but also for Pitt County. But at Dalton's Cove, what we're doing right here, and it reads, the developer agrees to rebate the town $2,000 per house upon complete venture and certificate of occupancy. So every time they close a house, we get $2,000. And where does that $2,000 go? Back to the hottest topic in Pitt County, and that is the Farmville Fire Department. That is $2,000 they get. That's $320,000 going to your fire department for them to buy things like turnout gear. That's buying things for them like protecting those houses that needed fire protection in the very beginning. So you explain to me or anybody else the cost of doing business to get the homes out there to create the tax base, and then getting $2,000 at the certificate of occupancy to go to the fire department to fund the project that is going to protect these houses, the property, and the families and the lives in Farmville. It's a pretty good deal for Bynum Farms, and it was a good deal for Dalton's Cove at the time.
Thank you.
This question will go to the mayor. Moore. Crossing the railroad tracks on Main Street, if you're stuck in a wheelchair, has always been dangerous. 2 different town managers and the mayor have already said that they're working on the process and working on sidewalks so chairs people can cross and to go vote. How much longer will it take to look into this process?
That is probably the best question that'll be asked here tonight. The past couple of weeks, we have had the folks from our new consulting firm in town. You've probably seen him. He's been wearing a reflector jacket. He's got a ruler and several things. He's out there measuring and helping us to get where we are ADA, where we need to be. Absolutely. He was in front of Bennett Park just the other day. This is a consultant that we've got, and we are excited about what he's bringing to town. Now, to answer your question, what are we going to do? We're going to wait for the report to come in. It's from Precision Infrastructure Management, one of the top companies in the state, from what I understand. And they have been here on the ground. We are expecting a report on any day to find out what we can do and where we can do. Now, granted, let's be fair. If anybody understands handicap, you're looking at him right now. And a person in here can challenge that. And yes, we have dropped the ball in a lot of places, not only because of funding, but because of access and trying to get it done. Have we done a good job with ADA? We could have done a lot better. but we did what we could with what we had where we were. We did 3 ramps in 1 week because the funds were available. We did that, and we are moving forward now. The company that we've hired, they know how to get the grants, and we will move forward. When can you expect that to happen? It started happening 2 weeks ago when they got to town and started doing their job and doing their due diligence. And as Dr. Hobbs would say, you got to have policy, you got to have procedure, and you've got to do your due diligence before you get out there and start doing things. And yes, it is on the way, and we are excited about precision infrastructure management coming to Farmville.
Thank you. Mr. Alex Joyner, would you care to respond?
So the ADA became law in 1992. We are talking about 30 plus years where our town has been out of compliance. And that is not just for the handicapped, that is for elderly, that is for people with strollers and children and things like that. That is a lot of time that we have ignored the law that was here. So 2025, I would say, is a little too late. And I don't know about you, but since July 18th, when this race and candidates had to sign up for this office, I've seen a heck of a lot of work happen here in the town of Farmville across both places here. Streets, sidewalks, the street cleaner is working again, street sweeper. Oh my gosh. There are so many things that have happened here in the past couple of months that have not happened in years, and especially since I've been here and from people that I have talked to possibly for decades. So what you're seeing here is what we call an election year. So how many times over the past couple of years have you seen something happen in an election year? And I'm going to quickly go through some of the things that have happened in the past 6 years here. So in June 19th, 2019, commissioners voted to exchange the fire station property. In July 19th, commissioners voted to approve $5 million loan for the library construction. In August 19th, the library groundbreaking happened. And then in September 19th, the originally planned groundbreaking of the new fire station, which did not happen until most recently, was scheduled. In 2021, another election year, September 21, originally planned completion of the new fire station. September 21, the CPP facility was opened. And then in October of 21, the library opened. And then in 2025 here in September, we had finally the groundbreaking of the fire station.
Thank you.
Okay. The next question. The Bynum Farms development, located beyond Highway 264 near Food Lion, will consist of 115 homes built in 2 phases. The town of Farmville has committed to funding 35% of the development cost through the subdivision participation rate. Since 2022, construction costs have risen by 35%. Placing phase 1's estimated cost at over $2.5 million. With phase 2 expected to include more homes and begin in 4 years or more, further cost increases are likely. Current projections suggest the town may not break even until the year 2036 and 2037 fiscal year, excluding future inflation. To the incumbent mayor, given that developers were already building in Farmville, why commit limited funds to incentivize development that would have occurred regardless? And why incur long-term debt when revenue could have been generated immediately upon occupancy? Would you like me to repeat any of that?
No, I think I got this. It's very simple. It's called the cost of doing business. This town had a property tax over 20 years ago increase, and we have not had another. And if you're looking at what's in front of you right now for the growth of Farmville, you're going to miss the big picture. It's the cost of doing business. We talk about property tax. We just had a revaluation. Do you think Farmville's not going to be here in 2036 or 2037? You think not? Do you think about those people that are going to move in those homes and how they're going to fill up our schools? Half the kids in our school right now come from a different zip code out of the 2000. Do you think that they won't be spending money? Do you think that they won't have jobs in the industries that are coming to Farmville thanks to the fire station? You talk about those 160 houses at Bynum Farms. We're very fortunate to have those. And thanks to people like Todd Edwards and folks like that, Bert Smith, that saw that vision of bringing them to Farmville. This was important. Yeah, it's easy to criticize something now because it's not, you don't plant a tree and expect it to produce fruit tomorrow. The Bible will tell you that. You don't do that. You have got to look at the future of Farmville. I heard that several times tonight. Are you managing what's in front of you, or do you have a vision? Do you have a vision? And that's what Farmville is all about. Are you aware that we have 200 houses? We mentioned 160. There are over 200 houses. This morning at the town hall, there was another meeting concerning 40 more houses coming to Farmville. You know why that is? It's because they see the future of Farmville. They see the 4 schools on one campus. They see Pitt Community College, and they also see the industry and what's coming to Greenville and what's coming around us. So if you just judge it on what's happening today, where will you be in 2037? You will be here going, why didn't they build houses back when? And you talk about the cost of doing this. You know, the cost is the cost of doing business. It costs to turn these lights on tonight, the cost of doing business.
Thank you, Incumbent Moore. Mr. Joyner, what steps will you take to reduce Farmville's debt and ensure public funds are not spent on unnecessary incentives like the subdivision participation rate?
So first, I want to comment on very quickly. So this is not a cost of doing business that we are talking about. These developers were going to build here regardless of whether we gave them this 35% or not. Farmville is a town that people want to come to. The $2,000 for every occupied house is a significant difference to the $16K plus that we are paying per house in that 35% of this development. So I don't think that this is a good deal. And when it's going to take us until the year 36, 37 to get into the black of this, I don't think that's a good deal. These people are going to come from day one either way. So why not would we not be making revenue from the first house that is built? So the other thing, 200 additional houses that are coming here, I think that's fantastic. This growth is incredible. But what is that strategic plan to keep up here with that infrastructure? I've heard nothing, and there is nothing invested right now in our roads, in our sidewalks, in our sewers. We sit here and we have houses that are flooded every time it rains. I've got a 7th grader on the on West Moore Street there, that every time it rains, she has to walk to the filled street because the bus cannot come down there to pick her up. We've already invested amount of money in there, and we redid it a couple of years ago, but it did not work. We need to have strategic plans to make sure that everything, our infrastructure, is able to manage these additional houses that are coming on. And that's something that we do not have a plan for right now. We've already been told that our fire department is not capable of managing what it needs to right now. What about our police department? What are the other things that we are missing because we are not thinking to the future? We are thinking what benefits us today.
Thank you, Mr. Joyner.
This question will be for Mr. Moore. What role does the mayor play in determining the budget?
The budget system starts with the department heads and their wish list. Starts with that. It goes to the town manager, it goes to the finance director, and they sit and they bring us a budget. The budget is brought to the board. The board gets the budget, we get to read the budget, we can get outside opinion of what we need. The mayor gets one just like the town board does. Once that is done, we go to a budget workshop. The department heads come in and we go through that budget line item by line item if necessary, because sometimes you may already understand in a particular department, they may need a new truck, but the budget is gone over with a fine tooth comb. At that point, once that is done, it is taken to the board in the workshop. We go through it again, and then we bring it to the board in a public hearing, and then it is voted on. The mayor's job in a budget, it's the same thing a mayor's job is every day. A mayor's job is to gather the information. The mayor's job is to present the information, and the mayor's job is to preside over the discussion. Present and preside, that's what the mayor does. And that budget is gone over by the board, by the town manager, by the finance manager, and we also have the help of our accountant who gives us direction on that as we need it. But that's how that budget is. And I assure you that the state of North Carolina requires us to have a budget. And I assure you, if we had overspent something or spent something wrong, you would have heard about it before now, tonight. Second thing I'd like to say on that, if I got 17 seconds, I'm going to go quick. Caravans were brought to Farmville to explain to them that we were alive and well. We showed them our school. We brought 20-some realtor companies to Farmville to show them what we had because they did not know we existed. To even think for 1 second that somebody was going to wake up one morning and come to Farmville and start building houses, not going to happen.
Thank you. This question will be from Mr. Alex Joyner. Mr. Joyner, you have mentioned creating more diversity in Farmville. Please elaborate.
So right now to create more diversity. Farmville is a heck of a diverse town, and I don't care where you go here. There are people not only of all ages, all colors, all walks of life, people from New York City. We have performers, we have artists. This is a place that we attract people. We are right here beside ECU Health, an incredible hospital that is in Greenville, and we attract those residents that are here. This is a thriving town when it comes to the opportunity to bring people here. So diversity is here. What we need to make sure that we're doing is that the people inside our town hall represent that diversity. And that diversity includes color, it includes age, and everything in between. And until that diversity and those voices and concerns are lifted from both North and South Farmville, because I'm sorry, Farmville is it is one of the most stereotypical towns where there is North Farmville, there is South Farmville, and it is divided by a set of tracks. And North Farmville is the generally white side of town, and South Farmville is the generally black side of town. And that division stays here today. And what we need to be more focused on is creating one Farmville. One where there's those theoretical tracks are erased. One where people from South Farmville feel like they can come up to North Farmville and partake in the businesses and the activities that we have. And also one where people from North Farmville go to South Farmville to participate in the activities and things that are happening here. We need to work on bridging that divide more than anything. Farmville's diverse. Don't question that. We just need to make sure that our government represents that diversity, and especially when it talks about the new generation.
Thank you. The second part of the question comes also to you, Mr. Alex. Also, you have expressed supporting the LGBTQ community youth. Are you planning to take measures to do this in Farmville, and how?
So taking measure, you said to support the LGBT youth. So look, we need to be taking measures to support marginalized communities across this board. I don't care whether it is race or sexual orientation or gender. We need to be supporting these communities across the board. So absolutely, I'm going to be supporting everyone that's here, including the LGBT community. We're going to be lifting them and giving them the resources that they need. It's coming down here, and this is where we have to meet the people where they are. So this, saying that we have support for certain marginalized communities here and posting it on signs that are taped up in the businesses of the North Main Street businesses is not getting that information to the communities that it needs to. So this is where we need to make more of an active effort to take all of the support, all of these resources, and meet the people where they are. And that is, I feel, in the south part of Farmville. But absolutely, regardless of where you live or anything in between, we are here to support everyone. My role as mayor is to identify the needs of our community across every place in Farmville, every resident. And I am here, whether you want to vote for me or not, I am here to support you and represent and lift your needs. And I guarantee you that once I'm in office, I will do that for every single person that is here.
Thank you.
Mayor Moore, several questions were posed regarding fiscal management and ethics. How would you build confidence in local officials and build community unity?
You know, a great friend of mine named John Spruill coined the phrase when he held the Bible for me when I got sworn in as a commissioner. And he says, finally, Farmville is one Farmville. I take offense to Southside. I take offense to that. We've adopted the Marlboro District, and the Marlboro District is beginning to flourish. Diversity is a nice word for change. You don't have to be in Farmville very long to look at the change. We have changed, and we've changed with the times. When we develop in Farmville, we take a lot of attention. It's been a lot of attention thanks to a developer by the name of Walt Creighton. Walt Creighton has brought us Tractor Supply after all those years of that shopping center being empty. He brought us that. Should bring us 50 jobs. We moved the ABC store, and not to use the term we got them a liquor store. Don't do that to me. We moved the ABC store. The average increase of a ABC store is about 7%. And since we moved it out there, Farmville is about 17% because it draws people from other counties. The Roses in the Marlboro District is one of the biggest producers in that chain. My great friend, Apostle Aaron McNair, look what his restaurant's doing out there. You talk about diversity, you talk about change. How much more change can we do than what we're doing and doing it by the numbers and using the land use plan to do it? And don't hurt my feelings and don't criticize and put down my friends. Don't do that to me by saying South Side. I had enough of that a long time ago. Marlboro District is what it is. You talk about infrastructure. We got enough infrastructure for 5,000 more people. Not my words, called a town hall. They'll tell you that.
Mr. Joyner, same question. Several questions were posed regarding fiscal management and ethics. How would you build confidence in local officials and support community unity?
So fiscal management and ethics, you said, is one piece. And I think that is where we need additional training for every single elected official that is here, I think on a yearly basis, because ethics change and we always need to be reminded of that. When talking about the south side of Farmville, I hear a lot of talk about things that have happened. I want you to drive over there. You don't have to take far. Drive 30 seconds, a minute over there. You're going to see that there is a significant disparity between how the north side of Farmville is managed, the attention that it is given by the town here, and then when you drive over here, it is like driving into a completely different town. There are roads that have potholes as big as 2 or 3 basketballs. There are sidewalks, if you have a sidewalk. There are sidewalks that are unmanageable for people to be able to access here. And we are talking about a community that is at most in need of being able to walk to get to where they need to be. So if you can visibly see it, let's talk about a liquor store. Let's talk about other people's, and the people who live on the south side. I would certainly not put anyone's name in my mouth, and especially not Apostle Aaron McNair to support that. I think that you need to get out there, ask these people directly for yourself and understand, do they feel like this town is meeting their needs? Do not take my word. Get out there and ask, because I will tell you, we've been walking the pavement, we've been knocking doors, and we have been asking. And the overwhelming statement is the town of Farmville and the town hall does not care about us.
Thank you. At this time now, we will have each candidate prepare for their 1-minute wrap up. We will start now with Mr. Alex Joyner, who would have 1 minute to give his closing remarks.
So I want to say, I feel like it is time for change here in Farmville. I think that with every generation that is coming, we need to pass the baton and pass it sooner rather than later. We need new ideas that are going to be able to come in here to fix some of these old problems that we've had, as well as some of the new problems that are happening. And I also think that as taxpayers here and residents here at Farmville, we have questions that we need to be asking our leadership that is here. So again, do not take my word for it. Start asking your leadership. So again, with the audit that came out in 2023, the response from the town was a little bit lackluster, and the demand from the state to have a corrective plan of action that was completely missed and said, oops, it won't happen again, is unacceptable. And I think that we need to be holding people accountable to say, one, these are our taxpayer money. How are you going to ensure us this is not going to happen again?
Thank you. Incumbent Mr. John Moore.
Thank you very much. I've lived in 22 houses in Farmville. Born in Greene County, moved to Farmville when I was about a year old, and I've been here ever since. 22 houses. I helped recruit the Farmville Hardware Store, Bonnie's Cafe, Salvation Army, Plaza Auto, and Tractor Supply to Farmville. It's easy to talk about things that you really, really think could happen down the future. It's easy to talk about ethics training. We all take it every year. We do that every single year. I'm in the town hall at least 4 days a week. I've served on the Pitt County Board for Planning. I've served on the Pitt County Aging Board. I have served on the Human Relations Committee. Also, I've served on the Rec Board, the Boys and Girls Club, the Recreation Board, and I've been a 3-term commissioner for you and 3-time mayor. Experience matter, you matter. The questions here tonight, they were important, but every one of those questions could have been answered and have been answered in a public hearing or in a town board meeting. That's transparency.
Thank you.
All right, Farmville. Tonight wasn't just about hearing from our candidates. It was about hearing from you. These candidates showed up to an interview for your vote. Remember, early voting begins October 16th. Tonight was about remembering the power that Farmville doesn't come from town hall, the power of Farmville that doesn't come from town hall. It comes from here, from you. Now, before we wrap up, I do want to take a moment to say that I'm not just your MC tonight. I'm home. You see, I'm here in Farmville at least 3 to 5 times a week. My roots are right here on West Cotton Street. My dad retired from the town of Farmville after years of service. My mother is the associate pastor at St. John's Free Will Baptist Church right here in Farmville. As a child, I walked the streets, went to Farmville Middle School. Miss Hicks was my favorite teacher. If y'all see her, tell her I still love her. And that was long before I even thought about holding a microphone. So when I say this community means something, it means something. I've seen what a town can do when it comes together. I've seen the heart, the hustle, and the hope that makes Farmville, Farmville. So I say thank you for attending this forum. And we pray that your questions and issues have all been addressed. We also pray that you've learned a little bit more about your candidates and what their proposed plans are, if elected, and that you have enough information to vote soberly. Once again, at the back of your pamphlet, we're asking you to scan that QR code and to leave an evaluation of tonight's forum. Are there any other closing remarks? Hearing none, once again. Okay, hearing none, once again, I want to thank everyone for attending and hope you enjoyed tonight.